Hello, humans. This is Stephen Stull, and you are watching The Hold Up, a member of the Without Your Head podcast network. This is the podcast where I interview a friend of mine about a movie that they remember loving but haven't seen for at least 10 years. We have two conversations. First, we talk about what they remember, then we split up and watch the movie, and then we get back together and talk about how well it holds up. This is the first half of the process. I'm talking with my friend Francisco Lacerda about the movie Xtro II, The Second Encounter. And I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm speaking to you from the future, and I just want to say, don't rush out and go crazy trying to get your hands on this movie. If for some reason you only know about this podcast through video, which I cannot imagine being the case, I just want to let you know that there is an audio-only version that goes back over 100 episodes. You can find it on any podcast app that you like. You just got to search for the whole name, The Hold Up with Stephen Stull, because it turns out I'm really bad at naming things, and there were already 37 other holdups when I went to register this one. Anyway, otherwise, if you like video, go ahead and enjoy this one. And I just want you to know that this is not where I record. This is just some empty room I found at work to shoot this little intro video in. Recording in progress. And now you get the big window saying, "Are you sure you want to stay?" Okay, good. Yeah, I'm sorry. So yeah, we were just talking, if it's all right.
hmm
The last couple of movies I've seen of yours were like Karaoke Night and um oh my God, I remember the oh fuck, there was one I had before that. It was
Glasser?
Freelancer. There we go. That's the one. Those are the ones we
Okay.
had at the festival. But you also
Yeah.
did. You okay? I really am putting myself on the going out on a limb here. I might be a complete asshole. But you did Fangs and Teeth, right?
Fangs and claws. Yeah.
Fangs and Claws. Fuck! I knew I screwed it up. No, that was good stuff, man. But now you're exploring something new. I'm excited.
Yeah. Um, I just decided to step out of my comfort zone, which is the
Yeah.
mostly, stuff like karaoke night and freelancer,
Hmm.
and just do something to work on a genre that I always like admired
Yeah.
since I was very young, and never had the balls to go forth and do something with it. And
Hmm.
I loved it. It was
That's
awesome.
great, man. That's fantastic. I'm glad to hear it. I'm looking forward to it. Even if like I love when like I don't know, people get kind of weird about because I run the festival and they're
Mm,
like, "Oh, I made this other movie, but you won't like it because it's not."
mm.
And I'm like, "No, I like everything. I love everything. You could show it to me. I'm just a guy who likes movies. It doesn't have to be
Hmm.
like I don't have to vomit before the movie's over. I could just enjoy
Of course.
it." But it sounds to me like the movie you're describing is not in the same vein as Xtro II, The Second Encounter.
Um, Not at all.
Not at all.
Not by a long shot. Oh my God, extra too.
So
I
that's what.
think, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, that's the movie we're doing, right? Like I want to make sure.
Yes.
Okay, good. Is it going to be a problem that I have still not gotten my hands on Xtro? Is that bad?
The first extra?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh no, it isn't. It has nothing to do with
That's
the
nothing
first
to.
extra.
Okay, good.
Nothing at all. It's funny because it's the same director
I was
and he
just
also
noticing that.
wrote
Yeah.
it. Um, so the reason why the you don't really need to see Extra One to
Mm-hmm.
watch Extra Two is because uh, when the director got the chance to he wanted to do a sequel, he
Mm.
didn't have the rights to the story. He only had the rights to the title. So he just had
Oh.
this title Extra, and
Yeah. Is
okay,
that
let's make another Extra.
is that is that related to why it's so hard for me to get my hands on a fucking DVD or Blu-ray of this thing? Is
I
there, do you
doubt
know
it.
any? No. All right.
I have a DVD which has both
Mm-hmm.
Extra One and Extra Two, and that's how I got to watch it the first time.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's a problem with that. I'm hoping that Vinegar Syndrome
Doesn't.
releases Extra Two eventually because
Yeah.
they've done Extra Three, which is also directed by the
But
same director, but
right.
absolutely
Totally different.
zero to do with the previous or the first film.
So he's just
Just
like,
the only common thing is there's aliens. That's it, and the title.
so it might as well instead of it might just extra is just shorthand for Harry Bromley Davenport movie number one, right? Number two.
Yeah, dealing with aliens.
So I don't know. I'm looking at him on IMDb right now, and I like to go in cold, but I always look up the year and the director, and I don't know any of these movies that he's directed. There's the three extra movies, which is cool. It's great that you get three horror movies in a sequence that are all directed by the same guy. That doesn't happen a hell of a
Hmm.
lot of times.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true. So you've never seen the first extra?
I never saw the first. I tried.
Oh
I
wow.
tried. I think I have some friends in LA who have a copy of it, but they won't hook me up because they're jerks. But
Oh, dude, I think you're gonna love that film.
no, I'm
It's
sure that's what everybody says.
it's one of my favorite. I watched it really young.
Yeah.
I think I was 14 or 15 when I first watched that film. The first thing I watched about it was the trailer, and it
Mm-hmm.
was back in the day. There was this website that only had trailers. It was
Like Trailer
called
Park or something. Oh,
Video
okay.
or something. Yeah, like Trailer Park or
Yeah,
Video
yeah, I've heard of it.
Detective.
Okay.
I don't remember. And because my internet was so shitty at the time, just added like to the mystery of it. Because I sometimes the internet would jam in a way that it would just freeze on a certain shot from the
Yeah,
trailer. I was
yeah.
like, oh, what the hell is this? So, and I would just hear the sound would be continuous playing in the background, and I
Yeah.
had no context on what was happening.
What's
So
actually happening?
yeah, and I ended up finding a copy and just watched it. I was like, wow.
I gotta dig this up. I gotta get over to eBay or something like that. It's just
Yeah, yeah.
I keep finding.
There's a bunch of Blu-rays of the first film out
Yeah.
there. I think Second Sight did an amazing
Oh yeah.
slipcase
Release.
special edition of it. And yeah, if you manage to snag to find a copy of that, yeah, just pick it up because I think
Yeah.
it's the best way to to watch that film. And it also has like three or four different versions because the film has a bunch of alternate endings.
Oh yeah.
And it's yeah, but I recommend going for the UK
The U.
version.
Okay. Noted. Noted. I will do that. I gotta do it because people have been telling me about this movie for years. There's like a couple of movies where people like, oh, you're gonna love this, Steven. This is gonna be right up your alley, and then I never get my hands on
Oh,
them.
it totally is.
Yeah.
Xtro has it all. Um, yeah, it's a fun film because these guys were doing this film just trying to stick in all the weirdest and most disgusting shit in a film they could possibly get away with.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, yeah, no idea what they were doing, and there's this element of accidental genius in it that they aren't even aware that happened, but it is present in the film. It's like there is this outer creative force working in the
Yeah.
shadows, making all these things connect. If your eye is pays
Attuned.
attention to the details,
Yeah.
it's all there, and it's just brilliant how like out of pure incompetence came genius.
Well, that sounds because we did a movie the first time we talked. We did a movie that sounds like that was that Don Dohler movie.
Hmm.
Which one was it?
It
Alien.
was Alien Factor.
Alien Factor.
Alien
That's
Factor,
right.
yeah.
That's right. So is the Extra family movies in the same like genus and species as these, or do you
Oh,
think these are?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think Alien Factor and Don Dollar are on their own little tier there of backwoods shot
Yeah.
horror films. This is closer to let's say your typical B movie.
Okay.
It's kind of like a rip off of Alien and all those things that came after Alien.
You
And
know.
it has good performances in
Yeah.
it. It has some really effective special effects, but it's not that film that's going to appeal to the masses
Sure.
because it's
Sure.
fucking disgusting and violent. And
So,
yeah.
what's that? What's the name? Oh, fuck. Okay, so when I was younger, like when I was a teenager, and I saw, Aliens,
Mm.
the second one, because it took me a while to watch the first one. I didn't get around to that for a long time, but I watched Aliens and I liked it, and I had seen some of the Aliens knockoffs, and I just held them, in contempt. I was like, oh, this is disgusting. You know, this is stupid. Why would anybody do this? But then something changed in me, and like 30 years later or whatever, now, you know, what's that movie? Oh, I always keep Shocking Dark. I think I would
Yeah.
rather watch Shocking Dark over Aliens just any day of the week. You know,
Oh my God.
it's so much more fun. Like it's not. I don't know, a
Uh,
good movie, but I don't even believe good movies exist anymore. I think it's just, did you enjoy it or not? You know.
it's a pretty damn good Alien ripoff.
Yeah.
Aliens ripoff, and
Yeah, yeah.
Terminator also.
And Terminator
Uh,
too. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I actually have it on VHS. It's the first time I watched it,
Yeah.
and it was it's
It's
ridiculous.
fun. It's
I
so
wasn't I
ridiculous.
wasn't expecting it to be so aliens heavy, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
Because Bruno Mate is like the master of knockoffs and
Yeah.
mockbusters at that time. He did a bunch of stuff. He even ripped off Predator, I think, with Robo War. And
Robo War sounds
yeah,
awesome.
when I first saw Striking, I was like expecting, oh, this is going to be a Italian Terminator ripoff. Cool.
And it's
Because
just
even the artwork in the VHS is like
right.
an Arnold
It's
Schwarzenegger
all about
Terminator look.
right, 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 right.
And it's even called Terminator 2, the original title in Italian. So I went in, and then these monsters start popping out of everywhere, and start to see the resemblances. Oh my God, this is actually an Aliens
It's
ripoff.
aliens.
Which is funny you brought up Aliens ripoff because
Speaking of,
Xtro II
yeah.
is an Aliens
All
ripoff.
right, well let's dive in. Okay, so uh to the best of your memory, what's the plot of Xtro 2?
Yeah, I watched it maybe twice.
Okay.
Years,
Yeah,
maybe
I was gonna ask you.
more than 10 years ago,
More than 10
definitely.
years.
I
When
haven't touched it
when was the first time?
since
Because
then.
you said you watched Xtro when you were a teenager.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think I watched Extra too much later because I
mhm.
only had one. I think it was one DVD that only had Extra,
Okay.
and then later on I got one that had both Extra One and Extra Two, and so I think I was maybe 17,
Okay. When you first
or
saw it.
yeah, most likely because I didn't really care too much about the extra sequels because I then read about them and found out that they have nothing to do with
Okay.
the story of the first film. So I just kind
Yeah.
of lost interest. But then I was browsing the internet and I found these behind the scenes videos of this monster creature. And I was like, whoa, this looks amazing. Where is this from? It was from Extra 2. I'm like, okay, I gotta watch Extra 2
I
now.
gotta watch.
So yeah, I got the DVD, rewatched the first one, of course, and then I put on the second one, and okay, it's I think it's from 89 or 99. I
For
think it's 1990, isn't it?
the Extra 2 is 91. At least it
91.
says,
There you go.
yeah, yeah, 91.
Um,
Oh wow,
yeah,
there's a big
immediately.
gap.
Yeah, there is.
Extra. The first one came out in 82, and then
Yeah.
Extra 2 didn't come out till 91, and
Yep.
then Extra 3, Watch the Skies, was
Hmm.
95.
Yeah.
So wow, yeah.
It's pretty big gaps there, and
Hmm.
oh, so the story is it's such a it feels so much like one of those straight to video action sci-fi
Yeah.
flicks. Even the music feels like synth score, which Harry didn't do, but he did do the score for the first one, which is
Oh yeah.
one of the best synth scores I've ever heard
Uh-huh.
in a film. So the plot, okay, there's something going on this bunker or something. They're opening a portal to another dimension,
Okay. All
and
right. Sounds good.
it's very. I remember it being very like Alien, like that scene when they first arrive in the planet and find the spaceship.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it reminded me of that. I don't remember exactly how the beast comes into play here, but something happens. They bring it back, or it slips through the portal and comes
Hmm.
back, and they go get this guy, which is it's Jan-Michael Vincent. Yeah, the actor.
Yeah. Airwolf,
So
man.
yeah, exactly. They go get him, and because he's some kind of professor or scientist or something.
Of
Yep,
course.
and they need his expertise because something happened in this facility, so they bring him in, and the rest is just pretty much aliens
It's just,
type
yeah.
of thing. It's creature running amok,
Okay.
killing them one by one, big guns, action, and I don't remember really how it ends.
Is it on a, so it's taking place like on a ship or something somewhere, or is it on?
No, it's if I remember correctly, it's in a bunker or
Oh, okay.
something, some facility. It's some facility because it's set on Earth.
Okay.
And it's not really futuristic at all. I think
Yeah.
it's really set in present day in 91.
No, that's
Um,
great. Like I love. I'm sorry to interrupt. I was just thinking
mhm.
about when we watched Alien Factor. I loved that it was
Mm.
like aliens in the backwoods of Baltimore in the early '90s, right? Like why do aliens have to be far futuristic sci-fi fodder,
All
right?
right,
Like why can't we have
it's
them run around chasing them with shotguns and shit?
totally, totally. This should be more like that in the end. But yeah, it's like the monster is really cool. I remember really liking the
Yeah,
monster. I remember enjoying the film the first time
sure.
I watched. Was it because I was biased because I liked Xtro II so much and the creature effects in this one were pretty amazing?
Yeah,
Because I don't remember much of what
the
goes on
plot or
in the
like what
film.
happens.
I
It's
remember the
fine.
monster going around in the dark corridors and killing them one by one.
Is
The
is
rest,
is the director like an effects guy, or did he? No, he had an effects team putting this together for him.
yeah, totally.
I don't like to
Yeah,
take that.
he didn't work in any of the effects. He did
Yeah.
during the first film. He did the score
Mm-hmm.
himself, which is he was gonna get somebody to make the score, but something happened and they couldn't get this person to make the score, so he locked himself in this room full of synthesizers and made the
Just
score
made
on
his
his
way through
own.
it,
Yeah,
and you liked it. You
through
said it
it.
was good.
It's brilliant. I love it. It's one of the best synth soundtracks ever made,
That's
from my
fantastic.
opinion. It's I describe it as screaming synthesizers. That's what the score is. It's the score of screaming synthesizer, and it's beautiful.
There's a. Do you know? I don't know how big. Like, I don't know who runs in what circles, but there was of an indie feature a couple years back that we had at Sick and Wrong in 2018 called Elliot. Did you ever see that? It's about. I think it's about 70 minutes long. I don't know. I think I should hook you up with the director of this because he came to the festival and it's just a gorgeous movie. They shot the whole thing on VHS,
Mm.
but they built out all the sets. It's like it takes place in this sort of bizarre future in post industrial wasteland, but it's like it's really I don't know. It's a great movie. I love it. It's not. There's no monsters exactly. It's got a beautiful visual style. But the reason I thought of it was you mentioned the score, and the director of this movie
Hmm.
made the score for Elliot. And when I talked to him, you know, he doesn't call himself a musician, right?
Hmm.
He just did it for this movie for similar reasons. It was like he had other plans, but they didn't come through or whatever. So he's like, "Fuck it, I'll just do it myself," and he pounded it out, and it's incredible. It's all like electronic synths, like very sort of uh,
Wow.
that '80s feel. Are you looking at Elliot? It's
Yeah,
so
I'm
good,
looking
dude.
at the stuff in
It's so
IMDb.
gorgeous.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks beautiful.
Yeah, Craig Jacobson and Cassandra Seckler made that, and their whole like aesthetic is incredible. It's so gorgeous. They do everything, like everything on screen is something that they put there on purpose. Um,
Wow.
I'm not trying to derail this. I saw a picture one time, like a BTS picture of them with a stack of the VHS tapes that they shot on, and it's like two people high, the
Wow.
VHS tapes.
Yeah,
But that's
this
that's a
looks
good one.
insane, actually.
Hmm.
Is it a feature film?
Yeah, yeah.
Because
It's
there's no runtime
There's no
going
runtime
on
there.
here.
I think it's about 70 minutes.
Hmm.
So according to the Academy, it's feature.
Wow.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, totally.
I'm in love with that movie. That's a great movie.
Yeah, I gotta check this out.
Yeah, it's very like melancholy and deep.
Mm-hmm.
It's whatever. I don't want to. Everybody check it out. Everybody listening to this, go check out Elliot by Craig Jacobson and Cassandra Seckler. It's incredible.
2017.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the score they brought me when they came, I was like, oh man, I want to buy the score. And the Craig's like, I could just bring you a CD. I'm like, yeah, please. Yeah, it's so good. Anyway, whatever. But I'm gonna check out the score for Extra as well. So,
Oh yeah, do it.
um,
Get a vinyl of it if you can. I think
yeah,
there's plenty of them up on eBay. It turned out to be quite an easy score to find in the
yeah,
end.
easier than the fucking movie. It sounds like God.
That's crazy.
I can't get a hold
You
of this
can't
thing.
find it.
Like
You gotta order
Amazon.
it from UK or something.
Yeah, that's got to be
Yeah,
it.
check second site's
Second Sight.
website.
Okay, I'll look up
Yeah,
Second Sight
second site.
because I just bought. I have a friend in London or near London, like close enough to London for me because I'm a dumb American guy. Uh, but she wanted some lipstick and she couldn't get it. Like the company wouldn't mail it to the UK, so I just sent her some lipstick, and they charged her like more money to pick it up from customs than I paid to fucking send it to her. So like it's
Oh my
ridiculous.
God.
But anyway, maybe I'll get her to send me a copy of Xtro.
Speaking of that, you remember the worm
Oh, the
thing.
worm.
Wow.
Jesus, what a nightmare.
Great
That
goddamn worm.
so I tried to send okay. I tried to send you this worm. It went from Orlando to LA. No, no, I got that backwards. It went from Orlando to Miami to Helsinki to New York to LA to Orlando
What the hell?
to Miami to Helsinki to New York to LA to Orlando before I was finally able to stop it and just say stop, just give it to me, just stop.
That's just
It
insane.
was nuts. And like, I don't know what happened. It's like I tried to, I called them. I shipped it with the United States Post Office, and like,
Hmm.
oh God, it was such a nightmare. I called them and created a case, and they tried to track it down. And like months later, they're like, okay, so we think what happened is you sent it there, and then the the local post office in Helsinki didn't have contact information, and they're talking to me, sorry, so I sent it. They didn't have your
Oh,
contact information because I screwed that up and I didn't put that on the form, so they sent it back, right? But as soon as it got back, this is where everything went stupid. As soon as it got back, the post office here in Orlando says, oh, this looks fine, let's just send it back out again. But it still didn't have the contact information.
yeah.
And nobody told me anything. None of
That's
the. Oh, it was
crazy, man.
fucking
Because I
awful.
never got a notification. It took like, how
No,
many
that.
months did it
It,
took?
oh my,
It
it took
took so
so many
long.
months. No, that was on me. Like, I should have put. Like, I didn't realize they were gonna. They have this form that you fill out when you send
Hmm.
something overseas, the post office does, and it's got like recipient name, recipient address, recipient phone number, recipient email address. And I never filled that out because I didn't think it ever mattered. I thought they just took it, like most of
Yeah.
the times I sent something to France and they're like, they just take it to your house and drop it off. But for some reason, I sent to Helsinki and
Yeah.
they wouldn't just take it out to your house or whatever. They needed to call you or something. And I'm like, if it's money, I'll pay. I don't like whatever it is, I'll take care of it. But
It's
ugh, it was a
it's
nightmare.
they got this system here that either you for notification, either I need to have a tracking number
Hmm.
or contact information so they can contact me. Hey, you have a
Yeah, yeah.
package that's available to pick up, because now it's all done by a phone app here.
Okay.
And yeah, that was just insane. And because I had Arturi like
Yeah.
sending me messages asking, "Hey, so where's this
Oh,
worm?
was
Are
it?
you
Yeah.
gonna send me the worm?" And I'm like, "Dude, I haven't received it yet, man. I
Yeah.
don't know what's happening."
No, I that was such a fucking mess. And then so like when I got it back finally like 3 months later from the post office, I went and took it to FedEx instead. Or wait, did I go to FedEx or DHL? It doesn't matter. I went to one of them
Hmm.
instead, and I made sure to put in all of Arthur's information, and boom, it shows up and he's got it.
Yeah,
And he sends me a picture. It's got it in his hand. I'm like, this is
there you
oh,
go.
I'm
Lesson
glad you
learned.
have it. Lesson learned. Exactly.
Yeah, but I'm actually happy that it didn't get lost,
Yeah,
and
for real.
because that could happen.
Yeah,
It would be a bummer to
that
have
was
such a
tough. Yeah.
thing
Which
lost in the mail.
that worm, it's so funny because like the woman who made it. So we're talking about the props from this movie that I've been produced, this
Hmm.
anthology movie, Fat Fleshy Fingers. The woman who made it for me, she made a batch of them, right? And she was
Yeah.
living in Germany at the time.
Hmm.
So she sent the worm to me from Germany, and then I sent it to Finland, and it came back, and then it went back again, and then it came back, and then I sent it to Finland again. So that worm has been everywhere, man. That worm has
Yep.
been like, this is like the
It
Magellan
is
of silicone worms.
indeed. I sing the world. Oh my
The
God.
stories he's got.
Yeah. That was a bummer that I couldn't do that
No,
segment.
no, there'll be more. We'll do it again.
It was insane. It was like
Yeah,
I was starting to feel the walls closing in because of the film that I was doing
yeah.
at the time, and yeah, it just would have been impossible. We had to delay so many
Oh yeah.
things. It was insane because of COVID, because of
Mm-hmm.
late funds. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I got like the grants, but the funds only came like months and months later.
Oh really? Yeah, because I
Just
remembered you
yeah.
mentioned the grant a long time ago, and
Yeah.
like it didn't come
We
through
we got a bunch of
for a while.
grants, but it's only like literally what like the first grant we got, the money only got to us a week before we were going set off to go to the island to shoot it.
Oh wow.
So it was lucky that we had that money,
Yeah.
or else it would have been really hard.
Jeez. Did you
But
shoot in
yeah, it's
Azores again?
Portugal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
in Azores, but not in my home island,
Mm-hmm.
in the neighboring island, which is Santa Maria, which is a beautiful, beautiful island. Literally has this desert area there that's just out of this world. And
Yeah.
I really, really wanted to do something with that
Yeah.
landscape, and I finally did.
That's cool.
Because
That's exciting.
it's never been used before in
Yeah.
any picture made there, just tourist videos because it's a
Yeah.
tourist attraction. So
Well, so
got
what do
that
you
one.
like? You keep teasing me. Give me a log line or something. Tell me something, anything at all.
Hmm.
You don't have to get
It's
into it.
it's a western,
It's a western. Okay,
and
cool.
it's just about these two outlaws
Hmm.
who, after robbing a bank, they have a dispute amongst the crosses of an old cemetery.
Oh wow.
They have a dispute about companionship, honor, and greed, and the rest is in the movie to
Is
see.
that sounds like a great like I love all the visuals that you can get out of something like that. Having it go down in a cemetery like that. I bet you got some good looking stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm really happy with what we got in the end. It's quite a fun film, and the the audiences has been reacting really well to it, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's yeah, I'm really happy with it.
Well,
It's a
good,
great
good.
film. I
That's
really want
great.
to watch it again in like a in a theater because the sound
Yeah.
is also so damn good.
Hmm.
You really feel it and this time.
Are you
And
so you're a Western
yeah,
fan? You like do you have like
yeah,
a
yeah.
favorite Western or like filmmaker?
I really love spaghetti westerns.
Yeah.
Those for me are better than the American
Hmm.
westerns. But favorite is hard to pick.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure.
I could go with Sergio Leone, but I
Yeah,
could
yeah.
also go with Sergio Corbucci. I
Hmm.
mean, they're so varied in their own visions of that
Hmm.
American myth.
Yeah, yeah.
It's tough to pick one. But yeah, either let's say Django 1966 or for a few dollars more. Come on.
Hmm.
There you go. But
That's
I love
awesome.
them all. It's hard to
Yeah,
pick
yeah.
one.
I it's sort of a blind spot in my film education. Like I remember I watched like High Plains Drifter when I was young because my
Oh yeah,
dad
High Plains
dug
Drifter is
it.
great.
Yeah, that was wild. I thought that was a lot of fun. And then like when I know it's not there was a movie that was basically a western. Actually, it was basically a Jimbo. Did you see
Hmm.
Last Man Standing with Bruce
Oh,
Willis? It
I
was
don't
like
think
a
I have.
no. It's set in like the 20s, but it's out in this dusty town
Mhm.
in the 20s, and it's basically Yojimbo. That's all it is. You
Yeah,
know,
like most of the
like most.
Leone westerns are all derivative of the Japanese samurai films.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Akira Kurosawa
Yeah, yeah.
is that you can trace it all back to him.
I mean, that guy's DNA is in so many good
Everything.
movies. Yeah, it's all over the place. But I was a big fan of Last Man Standing. It's got, like I said, it's got Bruce Willis as the lead, and it's got Christopher Walken playing this unhinged
Ooh,
goon. It's a lot of fun.
I gotta
Um,
check that out.
yeah, that was fun. But I never watched a lot of them. Like I said, we had High Plains Drifter. We did. I think I saw the was it early '90s Unforgiven with Clint Eastwood.
Unforgiven is a
Yeah,
really good film. I
yeah,
only watched it like maybe I think I watched it this year for the first time.
oh, yeah. I haven't
I'm not
seen.
sure, but I loved it.
Yeah, yeah.
Great
I
film.
I haven't seen the big ones that everyone talks about, like Good, Bad, and the Ugly. I haven't seen that.
Oh, you have to.
I did not see For a Few Dollars More. I think I saw a Fistful of Dollars, but
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to get you to make a playlist for me or a watch list for me,
For sure
because
thing.
I want to get
There's
into
a
it.
lot of stuff there too that's just bonkers,
Hmm.
a lot of psychedelic kind of stuff. Like one of them that was actually a big influence for this short film was who is the director? I don't remember the director, but it starts
Hmm.
with a D. But the title of the film is the American title is Django Kill. If you live, shoot. Original title is Se sei vivo spara, which is a complete gothic horror film in
Oh
the end.
yeah.
It is so violent for the time it was made. I think it was made around 67,
Oh wow.
and
That's
it's
that. Wow.
insane.
Yeah.
It's really really good film. So definitely add that one to your
Yeah. Hell
list.
yeah. I'll check that
Got
out. Yeah.
amazing
I'll see
visuals,
that.
and
Yeah.
it's so dark and somber and violent and just
Yeah.
amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm a fan. I love the
Very
uh,
surreal too.
uh, the I don't know. Like I'm a sucker for desert imagery, right?
Hmm.
The whole like first half. I haven't seen El Topo, but I did see Holy Mountain, and that was a lot of. That's a fucking wild movie.
Oh, you have to check El Topo out if you're into
Yeah.
desert imagery. Yeah, El Topo is. I like them both, but I think a deep no from Jodorowsky, I would say for me is best is Santa Sangre.
Santa Sangre. Okay, so I saw Santa Sangre one time, and I saw it on. This would have been in 2002,
Hmm.
2003. I saw it on a VHS tape that had seen a lot of better days.
Mm.
And so the one takeaway from it that I had at the time was that I just thought it looked so bland. And I realize now, looking at like still photos and stuff from the movie, that it wasn't the movie. It's the movie's gorgeous. It's the tape. The tape I was
Hmm.
watching was just kind of crappy, and I really have been meaning to go back and revisit it because it was just so gray, just some kind
Oh
of
yeah,
old tape that had been sitting around in the sun or something like that, and
yeah.
it really kind of ruined my enjoyment of the movie. So I want to watch
Hmm.
it again
Oh yeah,
to get one
totally.
of those
Check.
Blu-rays.
Yeah, that Severin has a Blu-ray of
Yeah.
it. I think I watched it. I don't remember exactly. It was the Criterion channel that I watched it?
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure, or some other streaming services, but it had the Blu-ray version of the remastered version,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
It
Because
was
I.
actually the first time I watched it because I'd never watched it before. I would
Mhm.
kept, pushing it back
Yeah.
to watch other stuff, and then one day I just said, "Hey, we're gonna watch this,"
Yeah.
and I did, and it's amazing.
Yeah. I actually kind of avoided. I don't know how to. I'm sorry, Jodorowsky.
Mm-hmm.
I fuck it up. I
Jodorowsky.
Jodorowsky. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I avoided him for a while because of my bad experience with Santa Sangre, and so
Mm.
I thought, okay, well, this guy, he's not great at painting a scene, which is the dumbest thing ever. Because when I finally saw Holy Mountain on a Blu-ray, and it was like,
Mm-hmm.
holy shit, this is gorgeous. And that's when I realized, okay, you know what, you need to go back and look at this again
Mm-hmm.
because you
Totally.
must have had a bad copy. So that's on my
Yeah.
on my watch list for sure. Did you, speaking of Hodorovsky, in a very sideways kind of
Hmm.
way, did you see the new Dune yet? I have not. Before I
Yeah,
ask,
I did Denis Villeneuve's Dune.
Villeneuve, yeah,
Yeah, Denis
is
Villeneuve.
it good? I've heard mixed stuff.
Fuck, I really enjoyed it. I
Yeah,
went in without like any expectations because I mean, you're gonna do Dune, it's not gonna be that different from what David Lynch
right, right.
did
It's
story-wise. It's that story.
yeah, yeah.
The thing is, it's the vision behind it has to be good.
It's gotta be yeah,
And
yeah.
Denis Villeneuve's vision is astounding for the film. I really enjoyed the whole runtime of it, even if it feels like it's just one part. Well, it is part
It
one
is.
of the
Yeah,
film.
yeah.
It works. That's it. You know,
You know,
you
honest.
can't do the Dune
Right,
story
for sure.
in one film like David Lynch did. It doesn't work.
It
You
doesn't work
can't.
that way.
No.
Yeah, I wonder sometimes whether he'd been given, you know, some more time if he'd been given a trilogy or something like that back in the '80s instead of trying to knock it out in one or something like that. I don't know whether he would have wanted to. It was probably
I
right.
don't. I don't. I think is I don't think he ever wanted to make that film in the first place.
Right, right, right. That's why it's such a tragedy. Like, if we had had, it'd be nice to have the Hodorowski's Dune,
Oh,
but
yeah.
in addition, doesn't that kind of mean that we would have also gotten David Lynch's Return of the Jedi? Like, if we could have had those two movies, I don't know, man. I feel like his Return of the Jedi might have been even
Would be the
more.
new Dune, basically the
Right,
old Dune in a way.
right,
Uh,
right. Just in the Star Wars
I
way.
just I just that's just something that just doesn't pair with it. It's David Lynch, Star Wars. No,
You wouldn't want. I don't know. I
no.
think about like I think the Return of the Jedi that we got was so kind of poisoned by like the commercial, like the marketability, or what is it called, the licensing stuff, like
Mm.
um originally I read somewhere that originally that the Ewoks didn't exist, that they were written as just Wookiees, like it went and happened on Wookiees. But then
Hmm.
somebody was like, George Lucas as producer instead of director was like, hey, we could probably make a lot of money selling
Yeah,
Ewok toys. So I wonder, now that 40 years later, the Star Wars people are starting to let other people, other directors, other visions kind of mess around, even if they're not being fully supportive of it yet.
mm.
they're, if in 1983 they had let David Lynch go to town on it would have been Revenge of the Jedi, right?
Yeah. That was the original song.
If we had gotten that, maybe we'd be in a whole different timeline where there's like all these artsy, weird, psychedelic
Yeah,
Star
I
Wars
just
movies.
imagine that. Yeah.
Might be
But
kind of cool.
I think still the three prequels would probably still be made because
Yeah,
in the end it was George Lucas who picked it
yeah,
up.
yeah. Oh
Um,
man,
but yeah, I don't really like where the whole Star Wars thing
I
is right now.
I haven't watched a Star Wars movie. I will say the last movie I watched was Force Awakens, and I
Yeah,
thought, when I
that's
watched it, I
good.
was like,
That's
this is all right. You
it's
know,
safe.
it's safe.
That's what
It's
it
safe. That's
is. It's
exactly it.
safe.
Everybody was mad because it was basically New Hope all over again, right?
It is.
And it
It
is. It
is.
totally is. But I thought that was kind of a deliberate
It
choice.
was.
They're trying to ease people back into it,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. It was. Yeah,
But then they
it's a
handed the
safe
trilogy
thing.
off to somebody else, and then to somebody else again,
But
and it's like, what
but
the fuck?
but they did that back in the day too with the
I
first
guess
three
that's true.
films.
That's true. You're right. Like
And
Irving
yeah, and
Kirshner,
Lawrence Cousin,
Kasdan. Yeah, yeah.
I think Cousin did one of them. I'm not sure. I might be mistaken.
Somebody
But
else.
it was going in a good direction with Last Jedi. I enjoyed Last Jedi. A lot of people, most of the fan base
Yeah,
detested Last
that's what I.
Jedi,
That's what I hear.
and
Like,
Last Jedi was, driving the story, the narrative to
mhm.
new ground, and you just can't do what's already been done before.
Yeah, yeah.
You got to explore new
You
things.
gotta.
You
Right,
got to
right.
break the rules a bit. And I liked that the film had a lot of, it would it would destroy your expectation. You'd
Hmm.
expect something would happen, and it would do the exact opposite of that, what you wouldn't expect. And Ryan Johnson's a great fucking
Yeah. Oh
writer
God,
and
dude,
director,
man,
and
fucking Brick, Brick,
yeah, it's like,
Brick is incredible. Speaking of
and
movies
then
that owe a lot to Akira Kurosawa, like Brick is
yeah,
definitely a samurai movie. It just takes
hmm
place at a high school, you know.
and
Anyway, sorry.
yeah,
But yeah.
Ryan Johnson does that, and then J.J. Abrams comes back. Oh, we can't
Hmm.
do that. So they literally ignored everything
Yeah, yeah,
that was set up on Last Jedi and
yeah.
made the what is known as Rise of Skywalker, which I refuse to accept it as part of the canon of
Yeah,
those films. And for me, it died there.
yeah.
And then they brought in the Mandalorian series,
Hmm.
which was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah,
And I hope they kept on going with that kind of stuff. But I think they see more, money's dollar signs than you know, caring about providing a good story and
yeah.
a good entertainment. So yeah,
So you're, it's frustrating because I mean, it's not frustrating that you're younger than me, but you're younger than me. I remember, like, it's really frustrating to see, there were things that we were interested in a long time ago,
mm,
like Star Wars, right? If you were into Star Wars in, I don't know, it got big when it came out, but then when I was in high school, if you were a Star Wars guy, like, everybody thought you were a nerd and a dork and a loser.
mm.
And so it's
I think
refreshing.
it's still like that these
It's still
days.
kind of like that. There's this weird thing that happens where it's like Star Wars is now huge. It's $1 trillion
Yeah,
thing. And that should be good because we're getting more Star Wars stuff.
yeah.
But when it gets that big, it now has to keep making tons of money in order
It's
to keep
product.
existing. Yeah, yeah.
It's product.
I think that happens to a lot of
Unfortunately,
stuff that gets like a lot of things that used to be considered nerd culture that got
yeah.
big. They got big, and then once they got big, they had to be commercial. I don't shouldn't say commercial. That's such a I don't know. It's tough. I don't know.
It's
It's weird.
Disney is what Disney is. They gotta
Right,
sell.
right. They gotta
That's the
sell.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's product these days. It's the same thing
yeah.
with the Marvel films.
The same
I
thing with the
still
Marvels.
consume
Absolutely.
that stuff,
Hmm.
but it's not.
It's
I
the
wouldn't
it's
say it's like okay, whatever. It's art. It's art in a form, yeah. But its main purpose is to sell tickets and
yeah,
sell
yeah,
merchandise in the end. They don't
yeah.
really care about the fans that much, or maybe they do, since
Maybe
they
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 do.
they rewrote the whole episode 9 because the fan base was reeing all over Last Jedi. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but whatever.
I feel like the screenwriters should have to block Twitter while they're
Yeah,
writing,
destroy
right?
Twitter.
Just don't fucking read Twitter.
Destroy Twitter once. Didn't Elon Musk buy Twitter or something? I
He
don't
was
know.
trying, but like,
I didn't buy it.
no,
God
he's
damn, just I
yeah.
thought he bought it. Like, god damn, the internet is
I wish
tough.
someone would buy it and just fucking kill it. It's the
Just
worst.
destroy
Just
it. End
destroy it.
it.
It's so
It's
awful.
just evil. It's toxic. It's poison. It's not good for your health.
It's not,
Go
yeah.
out and talk to people, please. Your Twitter alone. I don't have a Twitter. I don't think I'll ever have a
I
Twitter.
I had one for the festival and I hated it and I almost immediately deleted
Oh,
it. And then
it's
years
terrible.
later, people are like, "Oh, you have to be on Twitter. That's that.
Hmm.
All these other ones suck for advertising. You have to be." So I got back on Twitter and I was on there for like a month and I was like, "This is trash. I hate this. I can't do this." And I quit. I
Instagram.
cannot do it. Instagram's better. You just get like just pictures, just pretty pictures, and
Yeah,
sometimes you
that's
see a
cool.
little video of a dog, right?
Yeah,
Like that's what I like.
this is too very little, social connectivity there. It's
Right.
just watching stuff. Hmm,
And it's not
cool
like
stuff. I like
Facebook,
this.
where you go on Facebook and all you ever find out is that your friends are jackasses. That's what Facebook is good for. It's teaching you how bad your friends are. But
Yeah, it's
Instagram, you
like,
just look at a nice looking burrito or something. It's like, okay, that's great.
hmm yeah, Facebook these days for me is just to see news from horror websites,
Mm.
basically, and festivals and all that. My friends hardly post on it, and if they
Mm.
post stuff, it's to advertise something
Well,
they're making, and I'll like that.
right,
Whatever.
exactly. Yeah.
Otherwise, fucking toxic posts about this and that and this
Oh
political
God,
thing
it's
and
so
this thing and
gross.
the oh, dude, please get
Sometimes,
off, get off your computer
yeah,
and
just
go
get
live
off,
a
just go.
little.
What do they say? Touch grass? Is that what they're
Jesus
saying these
Christ.
days?
Yeah, touch. I don't know. Maybe.
Just get some fresh air.
Jesus.
I
Yeah, it helps.
I feel bad sometimes because like I do use Facebook for the festival, and I do, I take a basically broadcast only approach where I just put stuff
Yeah.
out there and hope people like it or whatever. And sometimes I feel bad, and so I try to look at the feed, right?
Mm.
But looking at the feed is such a nightmare because not just because of the crap that people post, but because of the way Facebook populates your feed, what they think they interesting to you, you know? It's like every day they do some new dumb thing. Like right now, the thing they're doing right now that's making me nuts is that they're showing me posts in groups I don't even belong to
Mm.
because I have friends who are in those groups.
Mm.
And a lot of times, it's like, I know this is such a stupid thing to complain about, but a lot of times it's a group that's based on some interest. Like it's people who raise Venus flytraps, right? And Facebook is showing me a post from this group because one of my friends raises Venus flytraps, and I'm like, why are you showing this to me? I do not give a shit about this. Leave me alone, you know. And so every time I go to the feed, I'm like, fuck this. I quit. I can't look at this.
Uh,
Facebook has like made it impossible for me to scroll through the feed. It's just trash.
Jesus. Wow. Yeah. How did we get here
How do
from
we get
Xtro
from
II,
extra?
right?
Yeah, extra to.
Xtro II.
So I'm
Okay.
looking. Amazon has a DVD of Extra, but I don't know what region it is. I don't. It's definitely not like region one. But anyway, Extra two. So what was it? So tell me something that stuck, like that made you, you know, that made you love this movie, even if it wasn't the plot and it wasn't the continuation of Extra one. What'd you love about it?
I think I don't think it was any of the actors. I think it was the monster and
The
the
monster.
setting
Yeah.
and the kills. I
Yeah.
think there's some really gnarly kills in there.
Okay.
I think there's even some chest burster
Oh,
ripoffs in
really?
there. Yeah, I think so.
Well,
I
that's
think so. It's quite bloody.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I really like the look of the creature, and
yeah.
it's really well shot in the film. But
Is it
and
like I assume it because
it
it's
has really good
91.
effects.
Yeah, I assume it's all practical, like
Yeah, yeah, it's
1991
all practical. And there's no, I think CGI is just there's
was
some lightning effects here and
right,
there.
right. There
That's
wouldn't have been much at the
that's
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
lightning sparks.
Lightning.
Yeah,
uh, is it how big is the monster? Like, is it like a guy in
it
a
feels
suit?
huge in the thing. I
Yeah.
think it's an actual. I don't think it's a guy in the suit.
No.
From behind the scene things, I think it was shot on a miniature
Oh,
type
okay.
thing.
Cool,
They
cool, cool.
like
Oh, I
built
love
this
that.
puppet. It's like a
Yeah.
puppeteered creature, animatronic, and I think they used various instances of the
Hmm.
same creature, like a big one for certain types of shots, and a smaller one for like
Sure.
maybe a wider
Why?
type of
Yeah,
shot where
yeah.
he's walking through. I remember this shot of him like there's this really dark lit corridor, and you only see him like going behind these pillars. And the
Hmm.
light going through, and you see a bit of it going through. That was really, really atmospheric, actually, to see him just slowly walking towards the victim.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
And
I love.
yeah, the creature, it's a bit derivative of Alien, but
Yeah.
how do you say it? It's as if you had thrown a vat of acid onto Alien, and it would actually, wouldn't have the resistance to the acid, would actually kind of melt.
Yeah,
That's how I would describe it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's very derivative of Alien,
That doesn't necessarily like
but I'm
young.
cool with that.
Yeah, yeah. I think young me, like 18-year-old me, would have been like, ugh, why
Oh
would I
yeah,
watch that?
totally.
But these days, I'm just like, is it fun? Is it fun to watch? That's what I care about, right? Like,
Hmm.
is it? Yeah.
Yeah, I still watch these silly films once in a while. Like I was watching a Puppet Master sequels
Oh yeah.
some time ago because I had never seen I think I only saw the first and the second one, and then on Tubi they have the third, the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth, I guess. So
I,
I watched the third and the fourth. The third is fucking amazing. It's like the
yeah.
best of all the Puppet Master films, in my opinion. The
I think.
fourth is dreadful, but it has cool stuff in it. It has some cool effects. I think, dude, those fucking full moon feature films from that time,
Yeah,
they used stop motion a lot, but I
yeah,
think
yeah.
they have probably the best stop motion effects
Oh
ever.
yeah.
Have you seen Dolls from Stuart Gordon?
No, no.
Dude,
Yeah.
as for me, I think it's the best stop motion there is. It's like you look at it like, wow, how did it do this? This looks so real.
I do
It's
you.
insane. I don't know
I love
who
stop
makes
motion.
those stop motion effects, but
Yeah.
goddamn guy's a pro.
There's
Ray
a
Harryhausen would be proud.
rare hair. There's a British filmmaker named Robert Morgan who does a lot of
Mm,
stop motion. He's got some gorgeous stuff on like YouTube. Have you seen? And I have not seen it yet, but I'm a big sucker for stop motion. But Phil Tippett's Mad God.
yeah, I saw it on
You saw
Motel
it?
X
Oh,
last year.
yeah,
On
dick.
Motel X, yeah, on the big screen. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
I can't wait to see that. I'm dying to see
It's a
that one.
great film.
I tried to. I
It can
begged
get a
him.
bit tedious,
Oh, really?
but yeah, because there's not really any dialogue going on. It's
Okay.
like it's a purely visual experience.
Hmm.
So at certain point, you can, if you're tired, you're definitely gonna fall asleep at one point in the film. Uh, but yeah, for it's a visual spectacle, and props to Phil Tippett.
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking amazing stuff.
God, he worked on that thing for like 20
Yeah,
years or something like that. That's so
hmm
wild. Uh,
it's beautiful.
yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that whenever I can. But yeah, I love stop motion.
It should be out by now at least.
Yeah,
I think it
it's
should be on
definitely.
Shutter or something.
I know it's going to Shutter. I think it's going to Shutter later this
Oh,
month or
okay.
something. But I'll dig it up. It's fine. We don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna watch that. Um, but yeah, I love miniature effects in. Well, we've talked about this before. We love the practical stuff. I
Oh yeah.
and I
If there's a chance to do it on camera, go for it.
and
Always.
I don't want to sound like a grumpy old bastard. You know, it's not like CGI can't be good, but
Nah.
uh, it seems like most of the time when they use it in the most like slack ass possible way, right? Like they just replace everything. You know, I saw I saw some like it was one of those posts where it's like here's the behind the scenes footage, here's the footage from the actual movie,
Mm.
right? And so I have not seen that Zack Snyder zombie movie, the latest one. What was the big one? Something of
Oh, speaking of aliens ripoffs again,
oh, is it?
dude, it's a shot for shot alien
it's
ripoff. Aliens ripoff, dude, it's insane. It's like what? Really? Who
the
likes this? This is a blatant alien
the
ripoff. They even have a
most
fucking zombie queen. What the
do they?
It's terrible. It's terrible. I hated it so much. And the
I
whole film is like blurry. Like,
and it's like the reason I haven't watched it yet. Just I feel like I need to watch
no,
some
don't
of
waste
these
your
things.
time.
No,
Don't waste your
the
time.
big reason I never watched it was that it's like fucking 3 hours long. It's just
Yeah, don't
it's
waste your time.
but there was a shot from it where they showed like the shot from the movie was one of these zombie dogs. I don't know. It's a zombie dog monster, right? In a
Mm,
junkyard or something like that. I don't know. But then the behind the scenes footage was a guy in a green suit in
mm.
front of a green screen. And I'm like, why did you need a person? What the fuck is this? What was the point?
Motion capture.
But he didn't have. It wasn't like the. No, it was in the Zentai, that green thing.
Really?
Where it's just, yeah, there's no
No
dots. There's
axis?
no. I think he might have had something around his mouth where he was just like tracking the
Okay.
mouth of the thing. But like, oh my god, it was the most hilarious thing I'd seen. I don't know. Maybe I'm sound like a jackass right now, but like,
No, no, no.
the
Yeah,
movie.
I mean, the CGI nowadays is standard.
It's like you just
Because
replace. I don't know.
how do I say it? It's this new generation is used to that type of thing.
Yeah,
And but it's still so uncanny
it
in a
is.
way.
It is.
I think CGI is best used to enhance
Yes,
stuff
yes,
and to
yes.
work as a tool in editing.
Right.
Like Jurassic Park still has the
Mm-hmm.
best example of how
Yeah.
CGI should be used,
Yeah.
which is for certain shots, so you can create the illusion of something that is
Right.
real. It's
Right.
so much effective like that.
I mean, it's so funny. Everybody says, you know, speaking of Jurassic Park, like Steven Spielberg, and he did it in Jurassic Park, where he knew not to show too much of the thing, right?
Hmm.
And you say he learned that lesson on, or he's always known that, right? Because it was the same way in Jaws. But the only
Yeah.
reason it was like that in Jaws is because he never got the fucking shark to work, right? It was broken all the
Yeah,
time.
and the fucking shark also looked goofy as
And
hell.
it looked, so he
It
learned
looked
a
for so
lesson
long.
right there. Like that wasn't his plan. If the movie had gone out the way he expected it to, the way he wanted it
Hmm.
to, it probably would have been terrible, right? It's just like full rubber shark the whole time. But
Yep.
he really learned that lesson. And that's the thing, is like if you're making a movie, say about a monster, and you create the monster entirely in CG, and then you put it up on the screen with a human actor standing next to it, it's going to look like crap. Like it's just guaranteed to. It's
Yeah, yeah,
just not going to
because
be right. You know,
your brain will
just reject it. You know,
reject it. Yeah.
you got to use it like you said to enhance. You know, use it. You can't ever have it be the thing on screen and
Yeah,
expect it to work.
I mean, you can have it happen on screen, no problem. Just
But it
don't
should be the
overuse it,
focus,
because there
right?
will
Like,
be one point where your
mm,
brain is like, you know, looking at it, and then,
mm-hmm.
okay, this isn't real.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but the thing is, there's this series called Love, Death, and Robots.
Oh, I started watching that.
It's out
Yeah,
there.
I'm only a little bit into it, but yeah,
So there's this new episodes on just season three, and there's this particular episode in it, which is
I
for
think
me
everybody's talking
was a
about it.
masterpiece.
Yeah,
And while I was watching, I was like, is this people or is this
mm-hmm.
CGI? And
Yeah,
it's all CGI.
yeah.
Everything is CGI. I'm like, wow, you
Okay,
had me
that
fooled for a long time there.
you say
So
that.
you can
I
still do good
it's
things.
still
You just know how to use it.
I think the big mistake is mixing though. Or not mixing, but like mixing full CGI characters with full human characters on screen, like full live characters. I think that's where
Mm,
like you see the behind the scenes footage, and it's you know what was her name, Naomi Watts with a big green foam Kong finger
mm.
around her waist, right? I think those are the shots that always look like crap, you know. Um,
Yeah, that's hard to. Sorry for the yawn.
no, 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 it's fine. I know I'm keeping you up
uh,
late.
yeah, it's hard to, like, in that instance. You could have used a hand,
You could
a
have. You could just
puppet thing
build a big
there,
fucking
just
hand. That's what they've been doing it for
to create the
decades and
illusion. Because
decades.
then you could cut that into a CGI king, and it would
Right,
work.
right,
It
right,
would work better.
right. Yeah.
Just because you see her touching it, and there's just it's
There's
not
nothing. There's
perfect.
no reaction. Yeah, yeah. It's not.
It's not
There's no
perfect. You
reality
can
to it.
see
Yeah.
that the fur doesn't move like a fur should move. It's
Hmm.
CG. Uh, Nowadays, I think CG is quite advanced to the point that if you don't know it's CG, you're not gonna tell the
Yeah,
difference.
yeah. I
Like
think.
this episode, I couldn't tell the
Yeah.
difference, and it's everything is CG in it. What I thought were real elements inserted in the
None
footage,
of it was there.
so CG. I'm
All
like,
right.
what?
I'm not gonna watch them out of order. I know it's not serial. I should be able
You
to just
you
jump.
you can watch them out of order, no
I want to
problem.
get through them all, but I'll get to it. I'll get to it. I'll watch it for
Hmm.
sure. It'll probably take me 2 years, but I'll get to it.
Yeah.
I think the problem. I think CG can be good. I think CG can be amazing if you put time and money into it.
Yeah, totally.
And I think a lot of producers, a lot of studios think that CG is a fast, cheap way of
Hmm.
doing stuff.
It doesn't.
And when you do it fast and cheap, you get fast and cheap,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah. Totally, totally.
But I don't want to end this on us griping. I'm looking forward to watching Xtro II.
Oh
I,
yeah, totally. Me
I,
too. Please.
I'm gonna
It's
see if
been
I
a
can.
while.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really want to rewatch it because I was gonna rewatch it without this. Then I remembered that you wanted to do another one, and
I've been
I
torturing you
wanted to
for
do another
months.
one. Yeah. I said, hey, I haven't seen this movie for a long time, so let's do this. Okay. And yeah, you tortured me for months, but
I'm
now I'm
sorry. I'm
free.
sorry.
Now I'm free.
Do you have
I
a
loved it.
uh, do you have physical media of it? Do you have like a disc?
Should I?
Or
I do have a disc.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's back in the source, but
Oh yeah.
I have a backup
Well, good.
that I shall not mention.
Right, right. Yeah, I'm gonna refrain from comment myself here. I might try to get a hold of Extra again, but not that, I just really want to see it. But I
Yeah,
do have,
at least get number one on Blu-ray.
right. I'm looking at it on Second Sight and they have it, but it's like Region 2. Do you remember back in the
You don't have
90s?
multi-region.
I don't.
Oh
I
fuck.
It's fine. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. But I was just thinking about, you remember back in the day when you would like do those secret codes on your remote to unlock your DVD player?
dude, dude, the funny thing that you mentioned, the DVD that I had that has Extra One and Extra Two
Hmm.
there is a Region One.
Oh, is it original one?
Came from the States, but the
But
drive on my PC,
hmm
it lets you change the region code 4 times.
Forts, I remember that. Yep. You had to really pick. You had to be like, all right, which
Hmm.
movie's worth it? Because it's going to be
Yep.
changed to the code and then change it back. What's going to be worth it? You think Extra is worth it?
So I changed it 2 times or three, maybe, because I watched Extra and then I watched Extra Two,
Mhm.
and then I watched Extra Two one second time. So yeah, I only had one more time, and then I couldn't change it anymore. I should have just kept it Region One,
Yeah.
just for watching
Ugh, it's all
Region
just a
One stuff.
all that region shit
But
is just a price fixing scam anyway.
yeah, I'm planning to get a
Region
Region
free.
One.
Oh,
Now,
actual region one.
either Region One or Region Free. But I think I should mention this off the record
Hmm.
after
Sure.
it's a
Well,
bit of a spoil or on something I can't really
okay.
talk about.
Well, then let's go ahead. I mean,
Yeah.
what do you you got anything? You got anything you're plugging right now? Anything you want people paying attention to?
Um, check my Facebook, check my Instagram. There's gonna be more announcements on Cemetery for Mig, which is,
Yeah,
they call it Red Cemetery,
that's
international title, a new short film. And yeah, look for it on the festivals when they're announced. That's basically what I'm doing right now.
Well, I'll be looking for it, man, for sure. Well, thanks again. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you for having me, Stephen.
And I'm sorry I made you wait so long to watch Xtro II.
Oh, it's okay. I'm a patient guy.